This is a very political symphony. It was a symphony written in 1936. Shostakovich had just been denounced by the Stalin regime for writing Western bourgeois formalist music. This seems absurd these days a little bit, but Shostakovich was in grave danger. This was the time of the Great Purge. Millions of Soviet citizens were being exiled or murdered or sent to prison. And Shostakovich was in grave danger of this happening to him. And he needed to write a symphony to make good with the government, and it had to be optimistic. And so he wrote a symphony that is 95% pessimistic, with a few minutes at the end which sounds optimistic. It's a big D major chorale, it's very happy. He succeeded. This piece was a success both with the audience and with the government. The audience applauded at the premiere for nearly 1 hour. Most of the audience was crying. They knew that Shostakovich had succeeded. He had found a way to say what he needed to say while keeping himself safe. So it's an incredibly powerful piece. It is extraordinarily relevant these days, I think, with what has been going on in Ukraine, though it is a piece of its time. It's very much of its time. I think we will all, when you hear the performance, you will be thinking about what is currently going on in Ukraine, but I think it's important to say that it is a piece of its time. And it's a piece that is not only about politics, it also has a little love song in it, which is hidden. Shostakovich quotes, of all things, Bizet's Carmen, the habanera in the first movement, because he was in love with a woman who married a man named Roman Carmen. And so he uses this little quote of the habanera. It's a very intense concert. The Schnittke is in a way darker than the Shostakovich. The Schnittke is more about personal darkness. The Shostakovich is more universal. I think it's an experience to hear these two pieces together and to hear Antoine play the Schnittke. He's one of the great violists of the world, and this is one of his best pieces that he loves to play. And so I'm thrilled to work with Antoine on it, and I think the audience will have a very intense experience listening to this program, again, with what is currently going on in the news.